Well attended. Lots of people. And the two in the corner.
So the Fall 2013 Court of Honor. Color guard, present the colors. Troop attention. Color guard, post the colors. Stop the boot. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Scout sign. Please follow me in the scout law. Scouts, trustworthy,
Loyal, helpful,
friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
scout.
I will do my best to do my duty, to help my country, to obey the scout law, help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Please be seated. We'll now have William Corona present his opening prayer.
Heads down, please. Dear God, thank you for the wondrous opportunity to be here. Give us the energy and wisdom to enjoy each moment and the courage to push ourselves further than we ever had before. Bless our troop and its leaders as we continue our journey through Boy Scouting. Amen.
Thank you, Adrian. I would like to ask Troop Chairman, Mr. Richard Huggins, to introduce the new committee members.
Welcome, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. Our first Court of Honor is Troop 10. We've achieved an enormous amount in a short space of time. I have the delightful task of introducing to those of you here in your committee. Thank you, Patrick, for introducing me. On top of which we have, I think we'll spare the humiliation of anybody standing up, but if you just pop your hand up. I don't think Cole Banning is here. Cole is our treasurer, sadly absent. Mario Russo. Mario has done an absolute phenomenal job for us on, is our outdoors coordinator and responsible for fantastic campouts already. Wendy Morton, our secretary, Wendy, is doing a sterling job. Our head of advancement and trail first class, Mallory Regan, you all know. And our latest addition to the to our ranks is Priya Amladi. I hope I pronounced that perfectly. Good. Priya as webmaster. This is a terrific group of people, and it doesn't get any better as we go through the list of Scoutmasters. So if I could introduce those volunteers: Guillermo Moncada. Guillermo, yes, Guillermo, you all know. Bob Clifford. Robert when he's at work, Bob when he's with the Scouts. Mark Popovich,
Yeah.
Assistant Scoutmaster, and Charles Ball. Is Charles here? Okay, Charles is not here. He's otherwise known as Chuck. Chuck Ball. And without further ado, let me hand over to to our Scoutmaster himself, Mr. Don Regan.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure that we got kicked off really well. We had a great temporary leadership, and we're honored to announce tonight the new leaders. You've already seen Patrick step forward. He is our SPL. So it's my honor. I've asked the Junior Assistant Scoutmasters, which are David Rieger, also Alta Ono, who couldn't make it tonight, and Donald Rieger III, who also couldn't make it tonight. I hope he's won his soccer game by now. Anyway, I'm going to pass it off to the Junior Assistant Scoutmaster to introduce your Scout leadership. David?
So as what Mr. Rieger already mentioned, our senior patrol leader this year will be Patrick Clifford. Our assistant senior patrol leaders are, thankfully, Will Huggins and Henry Zink. Come on up. Okay, so now we go to our patrol leaders. So for our patrol leaders, for the cost patrol, our patrol leader is Aurelian Corona, and our assistant patrol leader is Andrew Mancata. Come on up, you two. And your patrol badge. Okay, thank you. Our next patrol, the puppy patrol, is our patrol leader is Charles Ball, and our assistant patrol leader is Adi. Come on up, you two. Someone give me your patrol leaders and yes, your patrol badges.
David, bring the patrol up.
Do it after you.
Okay, and our patrol leader for the Area 51ers is Andrew Etz, and our assistant patrol leader is Kirk Popovich. Come on. Okay, can I have the entire, Kirk, stay up here. Can I have the entire Area 51ers come up, please? The entire patrol. Okay, so we have some, your patrol patches here tonight. So can you show them what the crowd, what they kind of look like? Yeah, these are alien heads. And these actually, they do glow in the dark.
Oh.
That's the bonus of their names. So right now I'm out. So. Okay. Thank you guys. Give them a round of applause.
So here, we'll take it.
Okay, can I ask the cost patrol to come up now? So Aurelian has his patrol's patch, which actually are. Can you show them to the crowd? So that's what it looks like, and Aurelian here is going to hand them out to his entire patrol. So go ahead.
All right.
Okay, thank you guys for understanding. And finally, can we have the puppy patrol come up? So, who here's puppy patrol? Great turnout, guys. So, Adi here has the patch. Can you show him to the crowd? Yeah, I don't know if those are actually puppies or hellhounds.
It's a bulldog.
One tough puppy.
Go ahead and pass them out. They look kind of vicious for puppies personally, but...
Okay.
Okay, so thank you guys. Go ahead and sit down now. So now we'll go on to the other positions of responsibility. The first one I'm going to go over is the librarian, which our librarian basically keeps track of all our books that we graciously are able to have here to help us with merit badges and stuff. So Rishi, can you come on up? Rishi is our librarian this year, so thank you. Okay, next up is our scribe. The scribe basically keeps records of everything during meetings or basically anything important. So can I have Adi come on up? Thank you. Next we have our bugler. Basically the bugler is the person who basically bugles. He does all the self-explanatory. So can I have Henry come on up?
Harry. Harry. All right.
So next we have den chief. So our den chief is the person who goes to the Cub Scouts and basically helps the den leader do his job by being basically an assistant den leader, and basically also helps the Cub Scouts get excited for being a Boy Scout, which all the Boy Scouts here know is pretty dang awesome. So let's go ahead and have Stephen coming up. Okay, next is the quartermaster. So the quartermaster, basically we have a lot of camping gear, and if we didn't have somebody who basically sorted out and made sure that everything was in track, we would not be able to have campouts that are fun, because one person would have his rain fly missing and be wet, the other person wouldn't even have a tent because he has no poles. So we all thank Andrew Mankata for being our quartermaster. Next is the troop historian. So basically, a troop historian, we have a lot of cool campouts, and unfortunately, our memories aren't as good as these campouts, so we might forget about them. So we need somebody who's able to keep records about these cool campouts and make sure that everybody else knows how much fun we're having. So can I have Brandon Moncada come on up? Okay, next is instructor. Basically, the instructor helps out with mainly the younger scouts, but also other scouts on basically instructing them on how to do some scout skills, for example, knots or fires or whatever what he thinks scouts need help with. So can I have Evan O'Connor come up? Is he here tonight? No?
He's not here.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So last we have troop guide. So basically the troop guide is the person who helps out with the younger scouts mainly, actually pretty much all the time, and make sure that he helps get them moving along and learning their scout skills to be able to get to the trail of the first class really as fast as they can. So can I have Douglas Krieger coming up? So I do believe that's all. So thank you. And I'm going to hand it off to whoever's next. I don't know actually. So.
Thanks, David.
Better picked.
Now I'd like to ask Adrian Corona to come up and give his presentation on our troops' most recent activities.
Hello. Okay, so as Patrick already said, I'm Adrian Corona, and the last elections I was the troop historian. So basically, since Okay, so from January to September 2013, I was Troop 7's historian, and I moved on to Troop 10 historian until our last elections. So I'm going to talk first of all about the Troop 7 activities. We had the Cologne trip, the cooking day, merit badge marathon, aviation merit badge, and other troop meetings. So first off, we'll have the Baton trip. It was from the 23rd to 25th of March, and I'm sorry the pictures are a little small, but not very good definition. So next up, we have the cooking day. The cooking day is basically when it allows scouts to advance from tenderfoot to first class. We have our troop boxes there where we're well prepared, and then we have us helping out and cooking there. It's a time when we can make a mess, but then it's all right, as long as there's nothing. Okay, so next up we'll have merit badge marathon. So I took pictures of the chemistry and the archaeology badge. We can see that at the chemistry everybody's very interested, no heads on table. And in the archaeology we have that it was our museum, okay, stuff we found in the ground and from the ground right there. So next we have our aviation merit badge. Basically for the aviation merit badge we had a pilot calling on Skype from Bermuda, and he instructed us on the aviation merit badge, which was a one-in-a-lifetime thing, because how many times are you going to have a pilot instruct you about aviation? Right? Okay. So next, I just want to put in some troop meetings. This one time we had to use an iPad flag because our flag was locked inside the room. And then, we have our bugler, some presentations, and then our last actual leader training. So, and then lastly from Troop 7, we have our Asia Camporee. This year was in Nepal. I showed some pictures of, everything. And by the way, on the bottom right, it says Chiang Mai, but it's a yearly thing, so that was last year's one. I didn't have this year's flag. Okay, so moving on to Troop 10, this is our new, troop shirt. So it's pretty cool, right? We're the X-Men, because at one time we were the Troop X. Okay, so Troop 10 activities, we had the open house at SAIS, the first troop meeting, the trail first class, and camping. Wow, a lot in 2 months, right? Okay, so the open house, we have a lot of pictures from that. I'm sorry, Mr. Manchada, but you were the happiest scoutmaster at that event. Okay, so we had the first troop meetings, the initial PLC, where we're all sitting around in a circle discussing about what we're going to do for the troop meetings, which are on the other side. With, Douglas very happy again. So, of course, we've been busy with new scouts coming in and, taking pictures of ourselves. So then we had the Kula movement camp out where we went on those big boats thing. I forgot, we call them fly boats, something like that. And so we all had fun there. And we also did totemship and other activities to advance ourselves along with the fun. So just recently, last weekend, we had Sisters Island. So we can see everybody posing with the X thing right there to symbolize our Troop X, and a lot of fun stuff going on around it, and we had a lot of good food. So lastly, we have our trail first class. It's weekly at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. That's it. Yes, and now we're going to have our troop activities, the new activities that are coming. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask my two ASPLs, Henry Zink and Will Huggins, to award merit badges and other special awards.
Okay, first up, I have Rishi Ahmad Ladi, who's in the firemanship and the totemship. Come on. Next, can we have Harry Cho, who's also in the firemanship and the totemship. Then Patrick Clifford has earned American Heritage, Cycling, Entrepreneurship, Home Repairs, Law, and Scouting Heritage.
Ooh.
Adrian Coronavalle has Citizenship in the Nation, Citizenship in the World, Climbing, Emergency Preparedness, First Aid, and Personal Management. Then Aurelian Coronavalle has earned Citizenship in the Nation, Citizenship in the World, Climbing, Family Life, and Swimming.
Yeah.
Andrew Eds has earned Citizenship in the World, Electricity, Emergency Preparedness, and Scouting Heritage. Tristan has earned Fingerprinting Merit. William Huggins has earned Camping, Citizenship in the Nation, Emergency Preparedness, Entrepreneurship, Farm Mechanics, and Plumbing. Taichi Katiani has earned the Firemanship and Internship. Daniel King has earned Camping, Citizenship in the Community, Family Life, and Firemanship. Andrew Moncada has earned First Aid. Stephen Morton has earned Electronics. Aidan O'Driscoll has earned Archery, Chemistry, Fingerprinting, First Aid, Forestry, and Oceanography. David Riga has earned Scuba Diving. Donald Riga has earned Music and Scuba Diving. Douglas Riga has earned Personal Fitness. Ryan Rousseau has earned the Firemanship and the Totemship. Matthew Rowe has earned American Heritage and Electricity.
Pat Clifford won the medicine merit badge.
Okay, Rishi Bhatt has, Rishi Ahmadi has, sorry, I know Rishi Bhatt.
Bring them on.
Rishi Ahmadi
Just bring them
has
all.
earned the Pulau Ubin Campout strip. Harry, okay, I'll just call up everyone and then you can all come up here and we'll give
Just stay
you
up.
individually. Harry Cho, Jack Clifford, Patrick Clifford again, Adrian Corona, Aurelian Corona, myself, Tai Chi, Kazani, Daniel King, Adi, Stephen Morton, Andrew Moncada, Brandon Moncada, Andrew Moncada again,
There's two campers.
Stephen Morton, Brandon Moncada again, Emilio, Kurt Popovich again, David Rieger and Donald Rieger.
And did he call? And there's more. There's more. The red ones on the bottom.
Brian or so.
Brian Hu, Douglas Rieger. Can't read that. Henry Zink, Ryan Rousseau, Eric Todd. That's it.
I think we have nearly all scouts, right?
Yeah.
Everyone who's brave
Almost every-
Ubin. So Mr. Clifford told us one of the best ghost stories we've ever heard. So Mr. Clifford has got a special award to celebrate the hungry ghost. We have 8 trillion hell dollars for these young men to use in the future.
All right.
What is on there?
So, Esme, what's the story? Well, what stays in camp, right? But essentially, everyone knows the story of the hungry ghost. But we're trying to celebrate the fact of our host culture, and we're on Ubin, and it was very close to the 7th month, and so we talked about the tradition of the hungry ghost and the spirits that come back, and the relatives that leave food for the ghosts to come back. And one of the things they do during that month, if you see people burning things on the sidewalks, they're burning dollars that will buy their relatives whatever they need in the second afterlife. So we did a little celebration of that, and we burned dollars just like this, and I promised the guys I'd save some for them to keep.
Awesome.
And then Mr. Clifford's story will remain in the
No, I think you have to go to hear that.
Yeah, you have to go to hear it.
Great.
All right.
We'll now have our troop guide, Douglas Rieger, award grant advancements.
So the Boy Scouts of America recognizes your achievements by awarding badges of rank. The first 3 are tenderfoot, second class, and first class. Next comes star and life. The highest rank in Boy Scouting is eagle. Our scout handbook tells us that though you can advance at your own pace, active scouts will usually earn first class within a year. National policy adds that older scouts should advance at least 1 rank each year. Scout. The first award is Scout. To earn this award, a new Scout must agree to live by the Scout oath and law and complete a number of other assignments. Will the following Scouts come forward with their parents? Rishi Almadi, Harry Cho, Brendan Liu, Daichi Kakitani, and Brian Brewer.
With parents.
With parents.
Please.
With your parents.
With parents, yeah.
Are any of your parents there?
Yes.
Bring them up.
Anna, ladies, Anna, stand behind your, yeah, stand behind.
Friends. No, come on.
No.
Okay, so Will now hand out your Scout rank pins. And once you get your pin, you can pin it onto your brother's left chest of the shirt.
The,
Pin it,
so take the pen off.
I think most of you take them in.
Yes.
Could you all take 2 steps forward? Take 2 steps forward. And all smiles over the best time of your life. Gotcha. Good stuff.
Tenderfoot requirements offer a taste of the great adventures awaiting you in scouting and can give you the basic skills you'll need to begin taking part in those adventures. You met many challenges in earning the Tenderfoot badge and are to be congratulated. Will following Tenderfoot please come forward with their parents? Rishi Amladi, Andrew Mancada, Brandon Mancada, Aiden O'Driscoll, Ryan Rousseau, and Eric Todd.
Hey guys, can you all step forward 2 steps? Cheese and bees.
2 more steps.
No.
Lovely.
Okay. Please join me in welcoming the new Tenderfoots.
Put them on.
Put it on. Don't hurt your mother or your friend.
All right over.
Yeah, he gets a lot of pictures taken.
Second class rank. To earn second class, a scout must learn how to use a map and compass, how and when to build a campfire, and to safely use pocket knives and wood tools. Second class scouts have proven their abilities in camping, first aid, and swimming, and other scout skills. Will the following second class rank scouts please come forward with your friends? Kurt Popovich. Please join me in welcoming. We do not have any first class ranks tonight, so
Read it.
we'll move on to star rank. Okay. Star rank. As you earn your star rank, you have more freedom to choose the directions that interest you. The focus shifts from the basic scout skills to earning the first 6 merit badges you will need for Eagle. Requirements now include service to others. The star rank also requires the scout to be active in his troop for at least 4 months. Of course, you may take longer if you wish. In addition, the Star Scout must serve his troop in a position of leadership for at least 4 months and take part in at least one service project. Will the following Star Scouts please come forward with their cards? Aurelian Corona Ballet and Stephen Moore. Please join me in welcoming our new Star Scout. There are no life rank recipients at the time, so and there are no Eagle rank recipients.
Should read it anyway.
So I'm going to move on to Eagle Palms. As rare as the Eagle rank is, Eagle Palms are much more rare. Only 1 in 10 of Eagle Scouts earn an Eagle Palm. Rarer still is a Scout who earns the highest level of Palm, silver. After having earned first a bronze, then a gold, the silver palm requires the Eagle who has remained an active Scout for at least 9 months, including Eagle, and has earned 15 additional merit badges. Will the following recipients please come forward with their parents? Donald Reeder III.
for that, because I would like him to get that one here. Can we have all of our Nepal participants come on up, please?
Yeah, but he already got it.
Everybody want them all up. Even if you've received your patch, please come on up, right? Okay, great. So we've got a patch and an award for your, which you see on, Mr. Huggins got it on his thing. And so if you've gotten this, Patrick and Andrew and Daniel and Stephen and Mr. Rob. And you just got your list of your card, right? Very good. Congratulations. Great camp out, I heard. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, and you've already got yours. You got yours. Great. So this is our contingent in Nepal in the high adventure. Great time, guys?
Yes.
I saw a lot of merit badges come through, so it looks like you had a good time. It also involved a project with Habitat for Humanity, so there was a significant service project with that. Next year's summer camp or Asia camp will be in Mongolia, and it'll be in August again. So congratulations to these students, these scouts. Thank you. I'd also like to note that we have one other instructor that was appointed, and that is Daniel King. Daniel, can you come on, please? And then Nathaniel Eds, can you come up? I have to apologize. I have a certificate that was passed on to me for your work and contribution that you made at the Nepal camp, a certificate of merit. So congratulations, Daniel. Great job. Is he ready? No,
Getting ready.
Okay, now I'm going to sing a little song. Monkey stories. Monkey stories. You want to tell a monkey story? Okay, so we talked a little bit about, if you haven't heard about the Sisters Island adventure, it involved animal wildlife, right? It involved wilderness survival skills, cleaning, exhibiting water. One of the pictures you saw was a solar still. So Mr. Clifford taught the scouts how to do solar stills. So we taught them 3 or 4 different ways to purify water. What else do we do? And despite all the advancement that we accomplished, and we got some boards of reviews, Scoutmaster conferences, we tied a lot of knots, we whittled a lot of things. It all came down to manhunt. And it involved military uniforms and hide and seek on basically a 10-acre private island, which we shared with a small troop of 30 monkeys, hungry monkeys, should I say. So anyway, a great time. He's doing quick change from soccer to this.
They were opportunistic but not aggressive.
Opportunistic but not aggressive, right?
Right.
And tell me that when they stole that apple of mine, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, monitor lizards, right? What else?
Fish, flying fish.
Flying fish.
Oh, yeah.
Hermit crabs.
Hermit crab.
crabs.
Ooh,
Crabs. Yeah, we had
Dead crabs.
that
dead
head.
crabs. Did you have a dead crab? You weren't there. He makes up a better story. You're going to be a storyteller.
Dinner Saturday night. Bigger
Ooh, the MRE.
And we know MREs are not safe for monkeys. They generally will rip them open and run up in the tree and then fight over it in the middle of the tree. So, I am delaying here because one thing will be happening in about 25 days is one of our scouts is going to time out. He will turn 18, and this will be basically his last. He had his last camp out last weekend as a scout, and he will be getting his last award tonight, and he will be finishing up his scouting career as a scout. He is one of our junior assistant scoutmasters, and I'd like Douglas to continue with the presentation where we left off with the silver poem.
Read it again.
So Donald Rigger III will be receiving the final award in scouting for scouts. and that is the Eagle Silver Ball.
Thank you, Douglas. And congratulations to all those scouts who achieved a higher rank. We're now one step closer along the trail to Eagle. Now we have a special recognition award, which Mr. Riegler will present to a scout who has shown heroism.
Okay, it's an honor to be a Scoutmaster, no doubt about that, but this is a very extremely rare occasion that a Scoutmaster has this opportunity to present this award that I'm going to talk about. On September 23, 2012, just a little over a year ago, a scout from this troop was out at Ski 360 with a group of his friends. He was a second-class scout, and he had only within a few days before that received his swimming and first aid merit badges. He noticed that another young boy was upside down and struggling with his board in the 360. Without hesitation, he jumped into the water, swam approximately 100 meters to reach the boy in 5 feet deep water. The boy had been turned upside down on his board, and because of the Velcro straps, he was submerged and had the potential of drowning. The boy was panicking, and so William was able to, the scout was able to calm the boy and get him, take him to safety of a pontoon, and essentially save the young man. Could well have drowned without the quick response of this scout. I'd like Will Huggins to come up. Richard, will you join me up here? And unfortunately, Paul and Sam were not able to be here. They had a little accident in the parking garage, I guess, and she's on her way to the hospital.
Oh, you're
I'll
kidding.
talk about liability stuff later. So unfortunately, she's not here to share this moment, and but I will on videotape. Please come in, Paula, for this action. So, Will, for your actions, the National Court of Honor of Boy Scouts of America has awarded you the Medal of Merit. This extremely rare award is given to a scout for outstanding service in implementing scouting skills and ideals. The medal is presented to someone who has performed an act of service in a rare or exceptional character that reflects uncommon degree of concern for the well-being of others. As authorized by Wayne Perry, the President of Scouting, and Wayne Brock, the Scout Executive, Chief Scout Executive, I'm very honored to present you with this award.
Talk about future events of the troop.
will be.
All right, it's my absolute privilege to be up here as part of the management committee. And we want as a committee to take this opportunity when all of you are here as parents to talk a bit about the upcoming events. We as a committee, together with Scout Masters and the senior leaders, tried to get a program of campouts together this year that incorporates a lot of stuff. We'd like to get exciting for the Scouts. We'd like to also incorporate some low-budget campouts, of course, and maybe achieve some specific merit badges in campouts. So it's a whole program we're trying to get together in 1 year, and it's not easy with some limitations of calendars of all the different schools together, and looking at budget, of course, but also really take advantage of the beautiful location that we are in and try to go to different countries as well. So with all that in mind, so far we've done 2 campouts here, right here in Singapore, to get the young Scouts started, more comfortable with setting up the tents, and I think we really achieved that so far. I was very happy to be there this past weekend in Sisters Island, and I really enjoyed it. It was my first camp out, so taking this opportunity in front of all of you to really talk about the upcoming ones. So let's see what we have so far planned for the coming months. This is currently in the calendar. The first weekend in November, we are doing a camp out to Malaysia, to the Endaromping National Park, and I will talk to you about that one. Then in December, it's the, correct me if I'm wrong, mostly electronic camp out. And that one will be in Singapore, here in a location to be determined. Then in January, we want to go hiking more. We want to go up to a higher elevation, especially for the older Scouts who need to get ready for the summer big hike outs. So at the Chinese New Year time, we are planning to go to Mount Kinabalu and hopefully summit Mount Kinabalu. And then further in the spring, we'd like to incorporate some fishing and hopefully some scuba diving again in a camp out later that time. The 2 months I want to talk to you about, I want to get you excited about, and hopefully get you to sign up as well, because that's one of my goals tonight, to get the sign up for the upcoming Malaysia trip done. We need to have the reservations in right now, so having you all here will be a perfect opportunity after I'm ready, before you leave, to come see me at the table over there for sign up. But first we need to get you excited, of course. All right, where are we going? The Endaromping National Park. If you're not quite familiar where that is, then here is the map. You see it right up there. You're probably familiar with Mersing and the islands of the coast here. Cebu is familiar with for everybody who went to the May camp this past year. So this is the Endaromping National Park. It's the second national park in the peninsula of Malaysia. It is a very old rainforest that is still there, so it's very wilderness, very authentic, with specific plants and animals there, endangered. I hope I say it correctly. I'm not sure. A specific rhino is still in the national park, so that is very exciting. What we're going to do is we go by bus from Stanford, and then we go probably by tours, switch to the Malaysian bus that takes us up around here, where we have to switch to 4x4 vehicles and drive another hour into the forest and to actually get to the campground. So that gives you an overview of where we're going to be. What is the goal of the camp? It's all about wilderness survival. We found a nice company that actually organizes jungle survival camps in Endaromping Park, and we're going to take advantage of their program to match it up with the Wilderness Survival Merit Badge. So it's going to be exciting that you get to go on camp, have fun, but also be able to earn a specific wilderness badge. So what we're going to have there is some experts helping us. It's an organized camp in that sense, but we'll make use of their tents that are available there, the cooking facilities, and that will make it easier for us to travel a little lighter up that way. So we'll have some experts helping us, but I would advise to bring your own sleeping bag anyway. So a little bit about the itinerary. In day one, leave at 7 a.m. in the bus, blah, blah, blah. 4x4s, that's where it gets interesting, of course. That'll be exciting to go with jeeps through the jungle to actually get to the camp. It's the only way to really get into the national park. We'll have some lunch, set up camp, and then go for the first big hike. We'll go up to a waterfall, and along the way start learning about survival skills. Okay, it's the real focus of the camp is to learn more about survival skills. Identify what kind of plants we will see. Is it edible? Is it poisonous? What animals can we find along the way? All those things. And we'll have guides with us, but of course we also have Mr. Bob Clifford, our camp master for that time, that has a lot of information about this. And all of you already started on some wilderness survival skills this past camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was that cool?
Yeah.
So we'll do way more in the next camp. All right. We'll go back to camp, have some dinner, rest. Not ready yet, of course, we need to get the fire going. You learn much more about how to make different fires. And then go for a night hike. All right. A few pictures to show you what that would be like. The Blue Book Merricack, that's the name of the campsite that is right in the camp. And this is a picture of the campsite. They'll have plenty of tents. There's some facilities there. And the second day, after a wonderful night, I'm sure, we'll start the day with some fun, with some water rafting in tubes down the river. Then we'll get back into serious wilderness survival lessons. And you'll have to catch your own dinner that night. There'll be fish, there'll be some chickens, but you'll, as scouts, have to make sure you prepare your own dinner that night. Really the survival way. You use some bamboo utensils, all kinds of stuff like that. And then there is spending the night out in the open. I would like to invite Bob to join me here, because I think it's really interesting that this would really help us to get to the wilderness survival guide. And Bob will know much more about that. So please, if you want to maybe talk a little bit more.
Well, good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming tonight. As you can see, our wilderness program puts the outdoors back in scouting. And as we have on the program, timeless values of the Boy Scouts. And this is something that Troop 10 is looking at. And that is going back and seeing those fundamentals of scouting that's made it so timeless for over 100 years. Leadership, friendship, confidence, learning how to survive in the open. All these types of values that are being presented to all your boys, we'd like to reinstill, and we're off to a great start. Again, for survival, I wish some of you could have been there this weekend. Learning how to purify water, how to build a solar still to get water from the ground and from plants. Being able to teaching the boys how to communicate without talking as they go through the woods. All these types of issues we're learning, and that's part of this merit badge. We're learning the fundamentals of using a signal mirror, of getting water, of wilderness first aid, and now with this project, we're going on to even a higher level of high adventure. And one aspect is going to be building your own shelter and spending the night in the jungle here. And so all these types of activities, and this is just one small snapshot of many of the activities we have planned out, are to build, again, the foundation of scouting, the foundation of self-confidence, of leadership, of friendship, and all those timeless values that the Boy Scouts have always provided. Thank you.
All right, a few more pictures over there. I think the hike in the jungle will be really cool. There's actually bathrooms there too, so it's very comforting to know always. All right, day 3, break up camp, visit some animal trap zone, and then we'll head back to SOS around 4:30. All right, all this is offered for the price of about $230. This will include transportation, the guides that are there, all the food, all the facilities. So I think that will be, it's quite a nice deal. I think I see a lot of school camps that are way more expensive than that and will offer a lot less to the boys, I'm sure. So if I can please ask you, because we need to make the reservations firm, and if you're interested, please have the sign up over there. Come see me after we're wrapping this up, and I can get you the permission slips right there. And if you can sign up now and then bring the money in the next meeting, then we can have this camp going very smoothly and quickly.
Okay.
Are there any questions about this specific one before I go on to the next? All pretty clear? Anybody interested?
Parents are encouraged to go back.
I gotta brush up.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So after, don't leave here without signing up. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
So after the new year, when we get into 2014, we really want to make a nice big climb to some higher altitude with the boys. And Mount Kinabalu is one mountain that would really offer this opportunity and not too far a distance from us. So the dates, it's about, we're looking at from Thursday, January 30th, and then return on the Sunday, February the 2nd. So we checked all the school calendars, and that's one overlapping weekend that we can use for a nice trip like this. But since this is a more a harder to plan trip, which is more involved, like airfare, real reservations to actually make it to the summit, and you've got to reserve 3-4 months ahead of time. That's why we bring this up at this point, to really get you to see who is interested, who wants to be part of the core group, and we can move this forward. All right, Mount Kinabalu, it's on the Borneo side of Malaysia. It's right up here. We're flying to Kota Kinabalu and then drive 2 hours up to go to get to the national park of Mount Kinabalu. This is the actual mountain. It's very rare that it's without any cloud cover. You've got to be early in the morning to see it nice and clear. And it's one of the mountains that is doable to actually summit. The top is 4,000 meters, and it's one of the most accessible mountains that, basically in the world, I think, to get to this elevation in a reasonably easy way. Of course, you've got to be in good shape, and there's some really hardcore hiking involved, but there's nothing, no, how do you say that, no hammer and things involved, right? All right, what the proposed itinerary, what we have in mind so far would look like would be the flight to Kota Kinabalu, transport up to the park, and stay in the hostel, one of the hostels in the park. Then the next day, that's when you start with part 1 of the hike. You get to the registration, and you have to have a guide. It's mandatory per group, about 7-8 people, you have to have one guide. So there's some fees involved for that as well. Then you start hiking. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to get to the rest house, Labamrata. which is about 3,200 meters. That's where you get some food, stay for a little bit, because the next part of the hike, let me show you this just real quick. That is the rest house, La Marrata. And it gets really cold up there. You can see that, right? You really need to bring more clothes. It goes down to about 2 to 3 degrees Celsius at the top. This is the trail map of Mount Kinabalu. It's a little small. I don't think you can read it so far, but this is the starting point. This is that rest house right here. So the idea is that the second part of the hike starts at 2 a.m. in the night. Dark. You climb up to the summit, and then you can see the sun come up, and it's like they, excuse me, like they say, it's quite a magical sight to be able to be on such an altitude and to experience the sunrise at that point. But that means you have to get up at 2 a.m. and do the second part of the hike to that point. Yeah? So that's what this signifies. And then once you see the sunset and enjoyed it, you head back down to the rest house for some breakfast. And then you go all the way back down to the park. Probably totally exhausted at that point. So it'd be nice to spend the night there. And then day 4, head back to Singapore. Sounds exciting?
Mm.
Yeah. Sounds like you have to be in good shape.
The idea behind this hike was
What time does it start? What time do you leave? What time do you
To leave?
Yeah.
Well, once we know who is interested, we got to make all the final reservations. I've checked into some details, especially flight details, because it's Chinese New Year weekend, so that means we have to book our airfare early. Right now, we still found a very good fare, but it leaves from Johor Bahru, and it probably means like leaving 7 a.m. in the morning, something like that. Yeah? So what we've come up with so far is we would like, if you're interested, of course, to check out some very informative websites. There's great videos about the hike, so please read up on it yourselves as well. We'll send out an email with the websites and what specific information you can find there. The total fees will be about $950, which includes the airfare and all the nights. Since they kind of know what they're doing there, the accommodation is not cheap, even though they're hostels. It's still, I wish it was a little cheaper for that sense, but they have a little bit of the monopoly going on there. But this would include all the fees, food, everything. So what I'd like to know at this point is who is interested in pursuing something like this? Who wants to be on the list that is interested and would like to stay involved? And if there's enough of you, then we would like to go ahead and see if we can really get this going.
Let me share a little bit about the program aspect of this. Is that we were looking for, first of all, kind of a high adventure hike. We were looking for something that would get us off of Singapore because we're keeping relatively local, keeping low cost options. But then, kind of once you start moving off Singapore and including an airfare, then it's going to get a little expensive. This particularly costs about two-thirds of that's airfare because we are flying on Chinese New Year. But when we're trying to find the optimal weekend for most scouts, that seems to work the best. So I talked about that earlier. So the idea here is it can be 2 or 3 track depending on what you want to do. Is that we've looked at the rating, we've heard all sorts of stories about how difficult it is. We've also seen where basically we've seen blogs and stories about younger adults doing it, and it's rated for children from 10 and up, according to the guide. So since most scouts are 12 and up, theoretically they can handle it. Now, everyone's a little bit different skill, and anyone who was at Borneo a couple years ago, sometimes you need to be a little careful about when they say 10-year-olds can do it. So the idea is go with what you're comfortable with. So for the older scouts, it's also trying to address the needs of the older scouts. They want to go hoorah, to go do something hard, peaking out the highest peak in Asia or I guess it's Southeast Asia, is a pretty cool thing. It's also pretty cool in temperature-wise, because one of the other things I hear about is, I don't want to have another night of tropical camping. And so you won't, it's 2 degrees Celsius at the top. So bring your woolies. So for the older scouts, particularly those ones that are preparing for Philmont, my expectation is they will crew together and they're going to be up at 2 a.m. That's the worst part. The hike's easy. The 2 a.m. is a little hard part, right? And then the younger scouts, if you know they feel when they get to the halfway house, that's all they want to do, then that's all they have to do. We can do one hike and be done with that. If they want to go up a little bit and come back down on that day, that's fine too. So we'll segment the scouts depending how many we have. You know, groups of 5 or 6 are probably going to be best. The Philmont group will be about 7 of us if all of us go. Maybe 8 if we have a guest like Henry, who's also training for Philmont. So hopefully it's a little bit of something for everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Difficulty, rating?
How much are you carrying up on the scouts currently?
I don't think the scouts
Food
are. All the food's included, right?
Yeah, it's all included. It's mostly
So it's just
your
clothes?
clothing.
It's just clothes.
And,
Yeah.
possibly a sleeping bag. I have to check on that.
So I think we start at about 2,000 meters. So we're going to drive up to a relatively decent level.
Yeah.
You'll need to carry your heavier clothing, right? Headlamp, mittens, more than mittens,
It's all
gloves,
about
things like that.
layers there.
You want layers as you're going to go up, okay? Because at the 2 a.m. start, it's going to be pretty chilly all night, right? Douglas?
I know we did Singapore during your weekend, but when I checked
It'll be Thursday morning sometime. So this airfare includes departing from JB.
Yeah.
So it includes a bus to JB, and we'll go out on JB is the current itinerary look right now. You can go to Singapore. If you want to get there yourself, you want to get there in points on Singapore Air, that's fine too. We'll match that up. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So that concludes the upcoming ones. So please, when you're ready, join me for the sign up for especially Malaysia. And please put your name on the interest list if you're interested in Kinabalu. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for all these upcoming events. Now, John F. Kennedy once said, "We do these things not because they're easy, but because they are hard." And that's what scouting is all about. Now we'll have our Scoutmaster Minute with Mr. Egan.
Good, thank you. A couple other things, other upcoming events is Entrepreneurship Month is October. We'll start that off. Mr. Huggins is going to be leading the troop for all the scouts that want to get the Entrepreneur Merit Badge. The other kicker about the Entrepreneur Merit Badge is the funds that we raise through the Entrepreneur Merit Badge can be applied to this Kinabalu. Okay, so keep that in mind. So part of this is having scouts earn part of their way there. It's just not mom and dad writing a check, okay? What other events we got coming up? Merit Badge Marathon this weekend.
Yes.
Anything else you need to tell them about that? We good?
Make sure they're signed up.
Make sure they're signed up. Merit Badge Marathon, there is a $20 cost to cover, so please show up with 20 and you'll get pizza, okay? That comes with pizza and supplies, so. Okay, my Scoutmaster Minute, I want to talk about Troop X. We joke a little bit about our X sign, but Troop X was just kind of the symbol we picked when we were forming this, is what are we going to call it? We don't know what it's going to be, so we'll just say X. By coincidence, Troop 10 was available. So for those of you who like Roman script, it worked out quite nicely, and I'll be quizzing the boys on Latin translations of certain things like troop. But there's two things about the word X in scouting. There's experience and example. As a young scout, you're learning experiences. You're going camping, you're learning how to do things, you're experiencing things, you're learning skills, camping, knots, knives, how to deal with primates, hungry primates, things like that. This is all the experience that you build as a scout, as an early level scout. The second part is the example. Now, we heard a very dramatic example tonight about a scout who used his skills to be an example to the community without thinking. But an example doesn't have to be that dramatic. And sometimes a more powerful example is not the one that gets the big award. It's the one that's done every day and is repeated. It's the scout that shows up with his uniform in good shape, with his shirt tucked in. It's the scout that doesn't use bad language. The scout that is a studious student. It's a scout that works with the younger scouts, helping them learn those skills. That's that EDGE method, right? That's that leading, that's that giving examples. So it's the example of making sure you get your work done before you play, just like our meetings. We kind of get our meeting stuff done, and then we play. It's like we did this weekend. We got our kind of our work done, our skills done, and then we had most of the afternoon to play. Now you might call Manhunt play, but I would call Manhunt as a team building effort amongst a bunch of boys having a great time. So that's the example that's part of that. So while we kid about Troop X, let's think about X as an experience and example. Thank you, Patrick. Back to you.
Can the color guard come back up now?